You're rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots, and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby.
What is going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday, and welcome to Beyond the Rider Live, episode 41, with the man, the myth, the legend, Brad Columbus of Crash Inc. Brad, how you doing, sir?
Good, sir. How are you?
I should have said the CEO of PMA, but we'll get to that. You got your party hat on. This is good.
Damn right, dude. I just got this, a new one. I got.
I
one
like it.
Yeah.
So I hope everybody's doing well, and thank you all for joining us. And so, Brad, let me, before we get too started, unfortunately, Denver is not with us tonight, but he will be back next week. But, feel free to harass him in the comments. He appreciates that, I'm sure.
But, I got big shoes to fill. I got to fill his shoes and do
you can. It's no problem filling his shoes. He's just a baby. But Denver will be missed tonight. So, Brad, tell everybody about your company. Tell them about you.
Oh man, tell them about me.
Where did it all start?
Oh boy, where did it all start? Company or me?
Just you in general. Let's go to you first. Where did it all start? I assume you grew up as a young child.
A young wee babe, out in a small town called can't even talk. Markham, Oregon. Hey,
nice.
Hey, Lee, just leave that out there. Sorry, kiddo came in for a second.
Oh, we don't mind kiddos.
Anyways, yeah. Markham, Oregon, tiny little town. Little yellow flashing light and not even a post office, church and a store. So
nice.
I grew up in the country doing country things, doing stupid country things, a lot of them. Moved to Salem, which is capital of Oregon, my freshman year in high school, and was rodeoing and doing all that fun stuff at the time.
Nice.
Yeah, did all that.
So were you a farm kid that got into rodeo, or were you just okay?
Yeah, pretty much grew up around it. Always loved it. Had my own horses, all that neat jazz, and just fell in love with it and did that for a long time. Got really busted up my senior year in high school. Kind of messed up. Should have gone to college, and for swimming actually, kind of weird.
Okay, so you were a cowboy and a swimmer. Impressive.
Yeah. So I messed that up when I ruined my ankle in high school riding bulls. So kept on with that, and in the midst of all of that, after high school, I had a couple jobs, and I always carried around the name Crash. Didn't really go by it, but my parents always called me it and everything.
Oh, that's cool.
I just wrecked everything and fell on my face all the time, and I'm not the most graceful person, I guess you could say. But if I do it good. And so I always just wrote Crash on everything, like, at school, doodle it all the time. And I had this job. I was working for family members, and it was actually kind of an office job. It sucked. I was working 3 jobs at a time, actually, right then. Anyways, the owner, which was like my second cousin's uncle's brother or whatever, he was like a really successful businessman, and he one day was like asking me about it, and I was like, I don't know, man, I just write it on stuff. And I had like Crash Company written, all this stuff, and I had wrote Crash Incorporated, and he's like, man, you should put that on a shirt. And I was like, oh, all right, cool, good idea. I never really went on about my business, never did. And the dunes and the motocross and all that stuff that I had gotten into after rodeo and starting getting all the tattoos and stuff and really living that life. The 90s, it was just taking off and getting huge. The freestyle motocross, the this, the that, and everything.
That's true, because you were pretty close to that Seattle scene too.
Yeah. All of that, in between Seattle and California.
Yeah.
Oregon's always gotten it last, but everything's in style a year later.
Yeah.
But so I don't even remember. I think I don't know. It was 22 years ago, and I was driving down this road, and there was this guy that I always saw. He had a van, and he made stickers out of it. I mean, it's like nowadays you can go anywhere and get a sticker made, but back then he had a plotter and he drove around with it. And I was like, I'm going to go get some Crash Inc. stickers made, Crash Incorporated stickers made. I didn't have a font. I didn't have anything. I just stopped in there. I was like, hey, dude, you make me some stickers that say Crash Incorporated? And he's like, sure. What font do you want? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. And I was like looking at the board. I was like, that one. And he's like, oh, that's Old English or something like that. And I was like, yeah, I want that one. He's like, okay, give me a couple hours. So I came back and he brought them out and it was literally this logo, Crash Inc., just like that. And I was like, oh my God, that's the coolest thing ever.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I stuck them on the two side windows of my Power Stroke that I had back then. And I drove around and it kind of became a conversation piece and people are asking me about it. And finally I was like, I think I got like a tax return or something. And I was like, fuck it. Sorry. Am I supposed to say bad words on here?
You can say whatever you want, man. We're bikers. It's all right.
Okay.
I mean, you have the cowboy hat on. It goes. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, there you go. I was like, fuck it. And I took, I think it was $1,000 and I took it and I went to my buddy that owned a screen printing shop. I said, hey, I want $1,000 worth of hats and shirts and blah, blah, blah. And
it's awesome.
Just kind of where it started and it blew up. I don't want to get real into it, but I took on a business partner, which anybody ever wants to do that, don't do it. If you know, something like that. Because it ruined my friendship for one with the guy.
Sure.
But it was just whatever. But we did great. Dune Fest sold up and down the West Coast, did amazing with it. We were also in our 20s and making pretty good money with it and didn't make the best life decisions a lot.
I was going to say, nothing comes good out of making money at 20.
No. And so we did really good with it and had our friendship woes and the company would stop and not do anything. And then we'd do stuff with it. And it came down to, honestly, it had sat dormant for a year or two, maybe 3. And I got a divorce and went through all of that. And it really was dormant then for matters, whatever. But, and then I remarried. I'm sure you've seen my beautiful wife's crazy TikToks and Instagram. She's becoming quite the household name. I met her and some friends, close friends that grew up around it and with it were like, man, you got to restart it. I don't know. And then finally, we started getting in, I started getting more involved with the Harley scene and hanging out with a lot of the guys from Portland and riding more than the bar hopper people around here. And they were like, yeah, man, you should restart that. And I was like, all right, fine. I rebranded 2 years ago and now we're making our climb back. We're nice. We're in one of the Harley dealerships in Portland, Paradise Harley. Soon to be here in Salem, Timbertown Harley. And I've been talking to another dealership. So
nice.
It's good. It's just balancing that and work,
Yeah.
life.
I mean, that's a lot. Plus you got kids. I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So it's kind of circling back. What was your I'm sorry, I'm ahead of myself on questions.
It's all good.
I don't even know what I'm doing here. Denver's not here to operate the machines. So how old were you when you first started riding?
Oh man.
And were you one of those kids that started at 3?
No. So I think my first motorcycle was my dad had out in the barn. There was a 77 or 79 Yamaha. It was like a dirt bike, 250. Some 4-stroke, and it was seized, and it was his stepbrother's, and he had gone off to military, whatever. It was sat in the barn forever. And one of my buddies one day we might have been 9 or 10, maybe 11, decided we were going to get it running. And I can remember with a wooden dowel with the spark plug out, because were told that you could pop a cylinder loose, and we were pounding on that cylinder to knock. Dude, and we did. We knocked it loose and we got that thing running. Days wrenching on it, days. And we got it running and we rode the hell out of that thing. None of us had ever rode a motorcycle before. It was 2 or 3 of us buddies, and that was our mission. and didn't change a part, didn't change the oil, didn't do anything. Literally knocked that cylinder loose and sprayed like I think WD-40 in the cylinder, and that was it.
That is
Mhm.
crazy.
Mhm.
It's so funny that so many people start that way. They just jump on a
Mhm.
bike and it surprises me how many people do that.
Oh
They
yeah.
just start on a bike and they're like, I'll figure it out. I guess that's the way every kid is.
Right. Right.
It's amazing to me how many people
Yeah.
started
Oh,
that
and then I
way.
think the Evil Knievel influence too. That guy's always just been, you know, like here, I got it tattooed on my arm.
That's awesome.
Evil Knievel stripe. Yep. I love it.
Do you have all the Evil Knievel toys? I just got the
Oh yeah.
repo Evil bike. I gotta make some videos with that thing. It's really cool.
I know. Those are really I want one. Hint hint, wife, if you're watching. But she actually a few years ago made me I have my own Evil Knievel costume.
I saw that.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that was that the inspiration for your it's with the hearse? I can't remember exactly what it
Oh, the
says, but
Forget the Hearse.
yeah,
Yeah.
forget the hearse.
Mhm. That
That's
line
really
is an
funny.
AC/DC song.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I had no idea.
forget the hearse because I never die.
Okay.
I got 9 lives, cat's eyes, blah 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 blah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like
Actually,
it.
if you look at a lot of my shirts, um, this one I'm wearing, "Last to Quit, First to Buy the Beer." That's a Chris Ledoux song. Um,
Hmm.
I like to sneak them in there. I don't know. So
I think that's a good motto too. I think that's I mean, you're definitely hardworking. You're putting the work in.
mhm.
It's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's good. It's like being a good person, spreading the spreading the love.
Yeah, and I mean that's the one thing that you certainly radiate. I think that's awesome. I mean, the positivity that you put out is great. So I guess we really didn't get into too much, but so tell us about the company. I mean, tell folks like what you sell, what your vision is for that.
So my original vision was to help people that crash. Well, not original, I should say. I wanted to be rich and famous and not do anything else and sell clothes and ride dirt bikes. But later on, in it was to help people that crash. I mean, whether you're crashing from a motorcycle or crashing a car or crashing from falling off the wagon per se, just to help people. Period. The end. And it was funny. I know we haven't gotten that far, but I guess uh funny little side story about one of the shirt designs that we did, and this will kind of answer your question
Sure.
too. A lot of the clothing has to do with crashing or blue collar stuff. Just being good persons, hug dealer, PMA, all that neat jazz. But we did right before my accident, and I'm sure we'll talk about that. We had made a design that we were going to use as a fundraiser that summer that I was going to use for a shirt to sell to help people
Hmm.
that have crashed, right? And it was a crutch. Well, you can see it on the website, but it's a
Yeah.
crutch and a femur, and the femur's broken. And it says ride, crash, rebuild. I had that designed and ready to drop that summer, and then my accident happened, and I shattered my femur. It was like, oh, weird.
Yeah. Maybe that was a little foretelling. That's not good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was my side story. But yeah, I mean, everything. It's just some of the shirt designs are just the hug dealer thing. I don't know where that came from. I have no idea how I got that. It was just one day I was like, I'm gonna put a hug dealer on a shirt. So I love
I,
giving hugs. I don't know.
I love that shirt because I have the shirt and it's so funny because people sort of look at it at first and they're like,
What?
oh,
Yeah.
okay. Like
Uh
it
huh.
takes a second. Like the dude's wearing a drug dealer shirt. Like,
Yeah,
why is he
yeah,
wearing
yeah,
a
yeah,
drug
yeah,
dealer
yeah.
shirt to Target?
Yep. Yep.
That's
Yep.
awesome. I got to get the
I ha-
hoodie. The hoodie's badass.
yeah, they're nice. They're nice. I actually had a new. I want to revamp it, and I'm not real one to keep secrets about shirt designs, but that. And I always use the song lyrics. I'm kind of thinking about a hug dealer shirt with a hug dealer right here small and putting around it, some call me the gangster of love.
Oh, I like that.
You think?
Yeah,
I'm thinking about doing it.
I
I'm
like
trying to
that.
come up with a design, the little Steve Miller action.
And I must
Mhm.
hear like it feels like 10 times a week. I'm exaggerating, obviously, but Denver talks about your windbreaker being sweet too.
Dude,
That's a really cool design.
We nailed it on those. It's just the story behind those is my work. I work outside. I'm a lineman / cable maintenance tech for the phone company, and we get a clothing allotment a year, and they supply the clothes. We just kind of pick it from the catalog. And I picked this windbreaker probably 5 or 6 years ago, and I used it, and I'm sure most people know how much it rains in Oregon.
Yeah.
It pisses rain, and you're working out in it. It might be 60 degrees, but it's pissing rain. And I wore that jacket for years. I still have it. I wear it in, it's not a cold weather jacket by any means, but it never leaked on me ever. And we started doing new stuff, and I never really did outerwear besides sweatshirts with Crash Ink. I was like, it'd be really cool to do a windbreaker. And I was like, I wonder if I can get this brand and get my name on it. And yeah, sure as shit. And dude, we've sold so many and never ever had a single person say one has leaked yet.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge.
Really good. Mm-hmm.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but you do all the work, right? You and your daughter do all the printing and all that?
Uh-huh. The only thing we don't do is the jackets. I have
Okay.
a friend of mine do it just because I'm afraid of melting the jackets.
Sure. Well, that would
And
ruin the waterproof.
She's got it down. So she does it. Knocks them out for me. Now that stupid COVID's over with, it's usually a couple day turnaround versus where we were having 2 or 3 day turnarounds on them. But
nice.
Mm-hmm. And I need to get my ass on the website. We just got a black on black reflective. It's really cool.
Oh, that's got to be cool. So it's that like the that's popular with the police here. They have all the police cars that are that blacked out ghost cars or whatever they call.
I'll show you.
Oh, cool.
I got it sitting right here. I need to put it on the website and do a post about it.
Well, apparently, Harley Fatboy Jr. wants to stop by and try one on. I'd be nervous about that one, but
you got. Am I here? You think he's going to leave with it?
No, I'd be nervous to let him in my house personally.
So
nothing but love for you, Junior.
Yeah. But it's
really
that's
cool
neat because you shine a light on it, and it is. Everybody that has them,
it lights
so
up.
Bright. Oh, it's insane. So, and then we have giving everything away, but I got to drop these on the website too. But we're doing hats with the black reflective on the front. It's really cool.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, it should be neat.
I like that. So I don't know if you can see the side chat, but Droop is asking, what's the story with the crutches behind you? So that's a good segue there.
Oh boy.
Oh man, now Junior's mad at me. I understand we've been through a lot, Junior. I'd let you in the house, maybe not the main house, maybe
Junior,
the garage.
come down. You can come stay on this couch right here.
What? Oh man, look, he's like royalty now. You might never get rid of him.
What are the stories with story of the crutches? So May 20th of last year, it was a rainy Thursday day. I had gotten off at noon off of work, and the wife had the car packed, and her and I and the kids were going to drive to Montana for a wedding, a family member's wedding for the weekend. I made it all the way home, minus about 2 miles, 2-lane country road coming in and out of town. I was on my bagger. I was fully geared up. I had, Carhartt type pants on, plus insulated rain pants and stuff. Just came around. I was only going, they said, the speed limit's like 40 right through there. And in the middle of the day, 35, 37 miles an hour. And I just came around this corner. It was just blind enough that maybe if I was on the outside of the corner, I guess I probably could have seen what was going on, but I was on the inside of the corner, just cruising. And just as I'm coming out of the corner and just kind of starting to stand back up, there's 4 or 5 cars going boom, 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 boom.
Oh.
And dude, I mean, it was, I've relived it every day since, and there's nothing I could have done, really. I went in the middle, in between, to try to go in between traffic. And the first thing I saw was an F-150 just like this in front of me, and I was like, shit. So, I mean, not even enough time to hit brakes or anything. And I swerved, and I thought I made it because the bike didn't hit anything. I caught the bumper with my femur, like right above my knee.
Oh,
And it just, I mean, it snapped my leg so hard that I can show you the tank, it's hanging on the wall, but it snapped my femur so hard, and then it shattered my femur and it shattered my tibia. And the only thing I can think is that when my femur broke, it flipped my leg up, and I think the lower part of my leg hit my crash bar, and I kicked my head with my leg. Yeah, it was pretty. That's all. I relive that every day in my head. Every day relive that. And the bike, I mean, I hit it so hard and so square that it snapped it, it shattered it, whatever. And I literally fell over. The bike just fell over. It did not skid down the road. It fell over and stopped. And I just landed on it, sitting on the air cleaner, basically. And it looked like I was sitting when I was hanging kind of upside down, looking at the sky, and I had my full face helmet on. You know, I couldn't get up. I was in no pain. And then the guy that I hit the bumper, he got out and picked me up, you know, by one arm like this. And I'm like, okay. And then this other guy grabs me. And so they got me by arms like this. And I'm like, I can't get my helmet. I'm like, I can't breathe. Like, I need flip my visor up, please. And they didn't want to touch my neck. You know, they didn't know.
Yeah. Cause that's what they tell everybody, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm like, come on. Finally, I ripped my arm away and I freaking opened my visor. I'm like, and I had my modular. So I flipped my modular open. I'm like, okay, I'm good, you know. And I looked down and I'm like, oh, it hurts, but not really. And I had so much gear on it. There was no sharp bends. It was just, it looked like I was sitting cross-legged, but my knee was a little higher, I guess. And then it was, I'm thankful for the guys that were there, because the guy I hit was a retired firefighter. The guy that almost hit me coming head on was a retired state cop. So it was kind of surreal. I don't know.
That's some divine intervention. Holy smokes.
Right. And yeah, I mean, they came, the paramedics came, and they cut my rain pants off. They cut my jeans off. And then it was like, oh shit, bone going this way, leg going this way. It was pretty wild. Yeah, I don't know how much you want to get into it. They almost cut it off, is what.
Yeah. I remember you saying that.
Yeah.
That's wow. And especially, I mean, that's traumatic for anybody, but I mean, you certainly live an active life. Well, I mean, wow.
Yeah.
I was trying to explain that better. I wasn't, but yeah, Jesus.
Right. I can see how after that, I mean, it was obviously a traumatic accident, and I don't want to be like it was the most traumatic accident, but how people can go downhill from something like that. Can get a pain pill addiction, dude, they were just shoveling here, take more, take more. I'm so thankful that I have a strong enough will that I was able to take myself off of them, because it started getting bad there for a while, even just yeah. But if it weren't for my support system and my wife and having a positive attitude, I don't know, man. Wouldn't be sitting here right now, I can tell you that.
That's I appreciate you sharing that. That's a hell of a story.
No problem.
Now, for those of you that aren't watching the video portion of this, if you're listening to the podcast version, I don't know, you won't miss the reference, but Brad actually has his. Can you see the wheelchair? Is it still up there?
Oh, it's not up there.
Oh, he used to have. Well, you can explain it.
Go ahead. I had a wheelchair for a while, and I have a hook and a block and tackle hanging from the ceiling of my shop, and I thought it'd be really cool to hang my wheelchair up there. And I had it up there for quite a while, but I have 2 lifts in my shop, and right where my lifts are positioned, it was hanging right over. And the one lift where I have the real the newer bikes that are always on and off of it, and it just made me really like, God, if this thing falls, I'm going to ruin somebody's bike. So I need to move it and rehang it is what I need to do. Move my block and tackle is what I should do. So. But I have lots of reminders hung around here. I got my tank hanging on the wall. I got my crutches, got my canes. Yeah, my x-rays are here somewhere. And then obviously dragging around this leg all day, every day reminds me good enough about it.
But how are you
So,
now? I mean,
how
you
am
were.
I
I saw that
now?
you were out with the wife riding.
We
That's a
took our
huge
first.
step forward.
Yep, we took our first ride together. She was really nervous because she hadn't been on the bike since I got my accident. It was good. We went out with a big group of people last night, and only just not a real long ride, but she was okay after the first stop. But I could see how it would be nerve wracking. She's more worried about me being able to hold the bike up and everything, which I'm good now. A couple months ago, probably not, but yeah. So
Now you were back to riding a while back, or was it? I don't remember. I'm
oh
sorry.
yeah, it's been a couple months. I've snuck out a couple times. I think end of
Nice.
summer I went, and I was still on my crutches the first time, which was I went my first ride back, dude, was one of my best friends. He was always here every day, and he's like, I put my bike back together, my bagger, and I had ridden it around the block barely. And he's like, we need to go for a ride. And we had a really nice day. And I'm like, all right. He's like, well, let's ride to Sisters. And I'm like, okay, that's a couple hours. I could probably do that. I was still taking pain pills and still really in pain. And he's like, yeah, let's ride to Sisters. It's 2 hours, 100 miles there, 100 miles back, whatever. Okay, well, we get to Sisters. And I'm like, oh, I feel pretty good. Let's go the back way. Let's go McKenzie Pass. Dude, it was like we ended up doing like 350 that day. The last 100 miles, I hated myself. We got back down to I-5, down through Eugene, south of where and I hated myself. I was like, what are you doing? It was brutal. Absolutely brutal. So I made it, but
Yeah, that's the problem with anything, right? You finally get a chance to get back at something, and then you overdo it because we're guys, and that's what we do. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it's been just a crazy experience, but for anybody watching and anybody that was here that visited me and checked in on me, I thank you. I lived in the couch that I'm sitting on. I lived on this couch for the first May, June, July, August, almost till September or October, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a pretty good sized shop, and it's actually easier for my wife to be able to just drive into the shop. And when I got home the first time, I had to drag my ass out onto the couch. But yeah, it's nice. I got heat and the TV and everything out here, so it's most of the creature comforts.
It's not bad, not a bad way to spend.
Yeah.
So what's in your well, I actually was going to go another place, but
Oh, go ahead.
before I go,
Whatever.
no,
All
before I
done
go
with.
to something else,
Uh-huh.
that so talk about, where did the PMA thing come from? Because that's prevalent in your branding.
Where did the PMA come from?
Because I was going to say, I mean, you're, and for those of you that don't know, that's the positive mental attitude.
Positive mental attitude, yeah.
And I think that's, I mean, if anyone reflects it, it's you.
Thank you.
It's not just a slogan. I think that's great.
Right. I wouldn't say that I invented it, because I know it's been going around for a long time. I like to just preach it, but I'd honestly credit the whole positive mindset, to my wife. I can remember, I tell this story all the time, and I tell people all the time, I give people this advice all the time, and she gave it to me. And it's really kind of what made me think, and I started just reading books about positive thinking and everything. It's really what. But we were laying in bed one night, and something happened. We're both scrolling Facebook, Instagram, whatever, and something really good happened to another couple or friends of ours. And all I said was, man, I wish that was me. Oh man, why can't that be me? Kind of that response. And she looked at me and she said, why can't you just say good for them? Why can't you just say good for them?
Okay.
And from then on, it was like, I don't know, we started talking about more positive stuff, and just I started reading books. And once you change your mindset and you look at some situation like that, it just totally, I don't know. I tell myself all the time, I carry no burdens anymore. I don't. mean, everybody thinks negative thoughts, don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? But it just reading into that whole thing about positive thinking just changed the way I think about things, the way I do things, the way I look at things. And it's just, but it's like a no stress about anything anymore. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, everybody has their everyday stresses, but it's, I guess you stress about it in a different way. It's so hard to explain. But the very first thing I watched is The Secret. Have you ever heard of The Secret?
I have.
Yeah, and that was really big. I've watched that so many times. But
Isn't the the 10,000 foot overview on that pretty much that if you basically wish it into happening, sort of,
yeah,
you
put
kind
it
of
into the
push it
universe.
into
Yep,
into the
yep, yep. And my wife says I can manifest anything. Manifesting.
yeah, there you
And
go.
you manifest it. And I do that every day. I wake up every day and I tell people to do this, and it'll change your whole attitude for the day. Is the first thing you do when you wake up is tell yourself what you're thankful for every day. Every day. First thing you do. And that just puts your brain on the right path, I guess. As silly as it sounds.
Well, yeah,
Mhm.
because it's yeah.
Because you're just thinking about all the good things in your life, not, oh God, I gotta go to work. Oh God, you know.
I mean, it's very easy in this world, and I mean, I've suffered from depression. I've never been shy about talking about that, but
Right.
that's the one thing that I found, right? Like if you get up that day and you can find the positivity in anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if it literally doesn't kill you, it's only making you stronger, right?
Damn right. Damn right.
You can't break somebody unless you allow yourself to break. And
Exactly.
that's a lot easier said than done. I'm not trying to discount anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And
No.
I wish I could live by that every day. You know what I mean?
No, I got you.
but at the end of the day, I think that as a society, right, we're always worried about the next
Mm-hmm.
thing. We're always worried
Yep.
about the bigger
Yep.
bike or the bigger
Yep.
house or the bigger car. We don't take time to really start and appreciate where we're at, right? Because
Yep.
when you look
Yep.
back, and I could I had $200 in my bank account and didn't know where I was going to pay my bills. And you look at your life
Right.
now and you're like, well, damn, all right, well,
I made it. I'm fine. I'm
when
fine.
my bike costs as much as my car does, it's like, yeah, all right, well, maybe life is, maybe I'm kind of being a little harsh on myself.
Right.
Yeah,
Yep.
and it's somebody,
Exactly.
again, I know you can't see all the comments, but somebody said, misery loves company, and it's
That
the
is true.
truth, right? Because negative
That is
breeds
true.
negative.
That's another thing I did. I cleaned the closet, man. But I didn't like completely push those people out of my life. But I think I started realizing what that friendship, what am I going to get out of this?
Mhm.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, and you want to put the effort in to be a positive person, then let's put it in together, yeah. And God, I can't remember how it goes. It's all about perception, how you perceive things
Perception's
too.
reality.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it is. You can perceive a situation as good or bad. It I got a flat tire on my bike. You can go, oh man, I'm screwed, I'm blah blah blah. Or you can try to take whatever positive about it. You got a flat tire on the side of the highway and some dude pulled over and helped you and you made a new friend out of it. Oh, there's the positive out of it, right? I mean,
Mhm.
you might have missed that semi that was going to run you over 2 miles down the road, right?
It's it's hard. It's
Hmm.
really hard. I mean, you really have to. The one thing that I found in a topic is sometimes you have to containerize people, and I feel really bad, but there are people that are like ride friends. They will be no more. They can't be anymore because they're toxic if I let them. And these are people that have been friends
Right.
for a long time. But
Right.
you have to realize that sometimes people have a purpose, and maybe that
Yeah.
purpose isn't to be anything more than what they give you. You
Or
know,
they're there to put you in check,
Correct. They're there to put
right?
you in check, or maybe the
Yep.
opposite way around,
Or the
you
opposite way,
know,
yeah.
and it's really hard because not everybody should, and it's hard to deal with that, but not everyone should have the access to you that those people should have, that it's in your inner circle, right? There's
Right.
people that you know, I'm always going to pick up the phone for, and then there's people I'll get back to.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that sounds rude, but that's the reality of it. Because if you
No, it
don't,
is. It is.
you can't let people suck you dry.
No, exactly, and that's huge. That's huge, and yeah, I agree with that for sure.
It's
sure.
you know, it's
Well,
I feel
yeah,
like
you
people are
surround
attending a TED Talk. Thanks for attending our TED Talk.
This is beyond the rider. It's not just motorcycles,
it's
right?
beyond the rider. It's our TED
Yeah.
Talk. Just thank you for
I
coming.
don't care. I love talking about. I'll talk about PMA and positive thinking and all that all day long. Because
And I think that it needs to be said, and it needs to be said every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I used to carry around this bad boy asshole attitude. I'm never real asshole, but I just, you know, walk around with that attitude. Oh, why can't that be me? Why, you know, whatever. F you, F this. It's like now it's like it's so much more fun. It's fun. I love showing up and giving every single person a hug. I love every day making conversation with the gas attendant that looks like he's had a bad day. I love it. It just makes me feel better. I guess, right? I don't know if
it's amazing what taking the time to ask somebody a question and actually listening to what they say can do for a person. Like I work indirectly in the food industry, and one of the things my chefs have taught me is that our salespeople, you go out and they talk to the wait staff as if they're the CEO of the company. It's the greatest thing because they realize they've been on the other end. They've all been chefs. They've all been, so they stop and ask a question to them and really engage them rather than just being like, yeah, whatever, I want number 7 or what have you, you know? And you can see the positive difference it makes in those people for that short little engagement.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And you get the best service too.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's what my wife always, she's always like, I just don't understand how you do it. She laughs. I know she doesn't, she loves it, but she always makes fun of me because everywhere we go, she's like, I always get, and this isn't bragging, but it's just like, you always get stuff for free or you always get a discount on somewhere. It's just, I just think it's just because you're being nice to people and people appreciate that. My dad always said, you walk into a place like you own it. You'll never have a problem.
Yep.
Not, I'm an asshole, I own it. Everybody get out. But just walking into a place with your shoulders up and your head held high and you know, I don't know. Really embraced it in the last couple of years a lot.
Yeah. And I think that it's really, especially through COVID, right? You kind of, Droop said he's not being an asshole for once. He likes to mess around live stream, but I'm glad people are enjoying this.
I can just barely see the comments.
Yeah. Yes. And Dallas is right. It's not really that hard to be nice to people. And it's amazing. It's amazing what I work in a unique company where the CEO would always stop and ask you, bro, how you doing? You good? And he meant it. It was kind of the first time I was like, what? Like, what? But it's those kind of things that not only take you off guard, but it shows you the good in people.
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome. And that's just like in the industry we're in, not my regular job, but this whole motorcycle scene, this whole Harley scene, I love seeing like just in the last couple of years since I met a lot of the people from Portland, the guys that we do bike night with and all the other companies, and everybody's blowing up. Everybody's succeeding. And I love that. I love seeing everybody because everybody's positive. You know what I mean? And if one of them's not, we all come together and we bring them up, you know, we lift them up. And I love it. I love it.
Well, and that's the one thing I think in the creator community is great. Like there's so many great creators out there and so many people that give you the shirt off their back, and the people that don't, that's fine. You just aren't going to be part of my circle, you know, and I think it's important to give back at any level because, you know, we all had to start somewhere. And I mean, that could be in your occupation. It could be anywhere.
Yeah. We don't need to eat at your table. We're building our own.
Exactly. I'm not afraid. What's the saying that I love? I know what I bring to the table, so I'm not afraid to eat alone. And
Exactly.
that's a serious mantra too, because yeah, it's kind of the approach I've taken at work. It's like, if you don't want to listen, that's fine. I know what I
Yep.
bring. It's okay.
Exactly. Exactly.
Sooner or
Exactly.
later, we'll figure it out.
Yep.
Um,
Yep. Yep.
I think that's really good. I think the PMA thing's a positive sort of just way to put it out there. And I've seen enough of lives with you on and talking to Denver that, I mean, it's just not something you throw on a shirt and sell. It's something you live. And I think that's
No,
great.
you gotta live it. You gotta live it for sure. 100%. 100%. And I don't know. Anybody having a hard time, call me, text me, DM me, whatever. Let's talk. We can do it.
I mean, and that right there is the reason why, people need to check out your web. You know what? Let me throw this up in the side chat while I'm doing it. Junior, are you in front of a computer? Can you throw it up? Because I'm not going to be able to. I don't think. Here, I can do. Hold on a second. Oh, so let's just take a break.
Okay.
Here, hold on one second. It'll take me 2 seconds. But no, and I think that I think it goes back to, with anything, is those are the companies you want to support, and those are the companies that, when you have a choice, that's where you should put your money.
Right.
There's a lot to be said for companies with a mission, and unfortunately, not everybody has that. Everybody's worried about their bottom line.
Right.
And I understand as a business, you have to be worried about your bottom line, but there's more to it.
Yeah. I probably should worry about it a little bit more sometimes, but whatever. Oh, here, you want a shirt? Here, take it out of here. If it makes you smile, here, take it out.
I'll just make sure you keep account of what's in your garage when Junior comes over, because you don't want him, he's a big dude. He might be like throwing 3 shirts on. You might.
Everyone is welcome here. Everyone. That's why I love my shop has turned into. I do live a little bit off the beaten path, and a lot of the homies, it's an hour-ish. But I guess I would. They love it because it's a nice ride, especially in the summer. But it's become. I don't know. They all call me Dad, which
That's
I
awesome.
don't mind. I don't mind, but then they call my wife Mom, and she hates it. but it's become just like a. I don't want this to sound weird. And not in the motorcycle sense, clubhouse, but just like a hangout spot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just fun, man. All my buddies bring their bikes over to work on. We wrench, we drink beers. I've got my toy hauler set up year round for people to stay in. You're
That's
having a bad
awesome.
day, you need to get away, man. Come on down. I got a bar, I got a fridge, the couch here, whatever. There's a gym set up in here, whatever you need. Love it.
That is solid. So what's man, we're burning through time too, and that's a good thing.
I don't care.
So no, I don't either. So what's in your stable? What's in the Crashing stable?
Oh boy, what's in the stable? You want to see them? You want to see the
Sure,
stable?
if you want,
All
absolutely.
Right. We can do a tour. It's a mess in here right now. A couple of them just went home. I had like 12 sitting in here. I think we're down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we got 7 in here right now. Mine. Let me get this up. Oops, dropping stuff. Let's see. So my daily. I don't know how to flip this around. Crap.
That's okay. If you can't, you can't.
Okay. We'll just do selfie style.
It.
We'll do. Here's the bar first. There's the bar.
Nice.
We get the full tour of the shop. So that's a ride up bar.
What is that? An elk?
Yeah, my dad shot it. He didn't have anywhere to put it, so.
Yeah.
And this is okay. Full tour. There's the door. Opens to an alleyway, right? So you can ride up to the bar and have a drink.
Oh, I'm in.
So my bar always turned into my office. So I went ahead and made myself a little office back here. That's where all the shipping and everything and all the computer work.
Oh, how cool is that?
Yeah. So, okay, back to the stable. My daily is my bagger. It's an 06 Road King that has a Road Glide fairing on it, dubbed the Crash Glide.
Nice.
It's got FXR mags on it, Fab 28 pipe, just a bunch of goodies. I actually this is the first time. Last night was the first time I ever put a tour pack and the road sofa on it. Normally it's got a nice little tiny seat,
Okay.
Saddleman step up seat, and this thing's fun to drag around in the corners and everything. But the wife loves the tour pack. She's like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. So that's that bike. Second bike in the stable is probably the best bike in the stable. It's my baby, I guess you call it my show bike. Never was intended. It's an 81 Shovelhead.
Oh, nice.
You can see it on my Instagram and Facebook and everything, but it's a clubbed out wide glide. It was really cool. I was very fortunate enough to be Jeff Holt featured it in the V-Twin Visionary magazine.
Nice.
Had it in the One Moto show last year. It's my wife actually surprised me with it as a wedding present during our wedding.
Wow. That's kind
cool.
of hard to beat.
I always wanted a Shovelhead, and it wasn't like this. Obviously, it's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into getting it where it's at now. But that was probably the coolest present I've ever got.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, if anybody wants to see pictures of it or whatever, I don't know why I can't flip this thing around, but I've got pictures of everything on Instagram.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Third bike is this beautiful girl that I'm actually selling. It's probably going to go next month, but it is a 2001 FXDX Dyna.
Oh, nice.
It's mint. It is an absolute babe. Put a ton of work into it to get it back to where it belonged and needed to be. So that one's for sale. I don't want to sell it. I don't need to sell it, but I decided to sell it because I want a tire machine and put more money into my company. So I'm making an adult decision here.
Okay.
I need tools and stuff. So it's just to help, not to tell a life story, but I can retire from my job in 5 years. So I want to be fully self-sufficient in this shop. I want to be able to do motorcycles full time if I can. That's my plan in 5 years. So that's the plan. So, and then I just picked this up a couple months ago. It's a 79 FLH Shovelhead. And I'm kind of having writer's block, I guess, motorcycles block of what to do with it.
I like the eagle on this side. That screams America right there.
Really rad. Yeah, it is. It's America. No matter what happens with this bike, if I do end up selling it, I am keeping these. I got another set of tanks because these are badass.
Oh, that's really cool.
I'm all about America. So that's my stable. Can't show you what's underneath that because it's a top secret project. Yeah. You guys will see hopefully in a couple months. Got
so make sure Junior checks his phone at the door. You don't want Junior taking snapshots of it or something.
Yeah.
Sneaky like that.
Couple pit bikes. Those are ours as well.
Oh, nice.
That's pretty much it. I've got a couple old. These are for sale too, if anybody's looking. Sportster project, and then an Ironhead sitting there. Those are Jason's, my buddy Jason's bikes. So. That's pretty much the stable right now, but we've been running, man, the last 2 months. We've pushed through like several 2021, 22 road glides, doing exhaust bars, setup, the whole 9 yards. It's really starting to, I hate calling it performance baggers, more performance touring bikes, but
I'll just say it. I think the term performance bagger is going to be beaten to death soon.
Yeah, it is. That's my leg. That's from my leg.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
That's how hard I hit it. And you want to know what's crazy about that story is, I want to say, let's see, it was April. So that happened May 20th. Yeah, it was about 20 some days. So the moto show, right? And they have the flat tracks races every year. It's usually the opener for the Hooligan Series. And I got this crazy idea that I was going to start racing flat track. So we raced the One Pro up in Washington a couple weeks before my big accident. And dude, they say you get going about, because you don't run the speed or whatever, you get going about 60 miles an hour on the dirt, on the straightaway at this one track. And I high-sided going probably that fast and on my sporty track bike, and it was boom, 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 boom.
Oh.
Got up, walked away from it, did this one. I mean, did that like 2 weeks before my accident, and go figure, I hit a friggin' truck at 36 miles an hour and ruined my life for several months.
Oh,
But
yikes.
So, yep.
I
That's
kind
the
of think
shop.
you should keep those tanks. You should make a crash bike
Oh
out.
yeah, that would be cool. Something.
That's,
Yeah.
when people
Something's
ask
gonna
what
happen
happened to
with
your
them.
tank, you can be like, funny story.
I want to make a lamp out of one of them or something. I don't
That'd be
know.
really cool. Use part of the crutch and make a lamp out of it or something.
Yep.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I like it.
Yeah. So we finished the tour, I guess, since I'm up. There's the gym set up. It's been very. Here's my pride and joy, though. What we were talking about earlier.
Oh, that's awesome. That
Yeah,
is
my
awesome.
Evil Knievel. Me
You
and
got the
Jesse
helmet
James,
too.
the man, Jesse James.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, got him right there. He's a cool dude.
Who's
Mr.
next to that?
Seth Enslow.
Nice.
He's a friggin' badass. Yeah, he sent me a crutch, actually. One of his crutches from when he got hurt. It's hanging above the bar right there.
Oh, that's cool. So how was Jesse in person?
Cool, man. It was, when I hung out with him and met him, it was, oh God, to put a year on it, probably easier to figure out when he was married to Sandra Bullock.
Okay.
Because that's when I met him. And he was cool. I actually got to sit down and bullshit with him for a while. And stellar dude. Very, very, very nice. Some people think he's an asshole, but I think he's a great guy.
I met Paul Tuttle before he moved
Really?
to Florida. Right when they were in that weird period, it was like 3-4 years ago when they were basically washed up.
Oh.
And I went in there and they were doing tours, and I remember walking by and he's in that office show. I see him in the show and he kind of waves and then he just comes out and he just starts talking to us. And it was kind of surreal because he's a really nice guy.
Oh, I bet. I've always wanted to meet those guys.
I can't remember the name of the guy, but it's the guy that they always had on the original show that was always doing work with them. He's still there. He does all the machine stuff. No, he does all their CNC work, and I can't remember his name. But he must have he gave us the rest of the tour, and then he must have sat for like 20 minutes just talking to us. Because he basically said, like, he's like, I don't know, they might be closing up soon. I don't know. Like, he had no idea like what was going on. And then and now all of a sudden you see them all over the place. I think they're back in Discovery. But it was pretty cool to see all their bikes.
Nice.
It was kind of surreal meeting him because he just came out and he's talking and he talks exactly, well, I mean, it sounds stupid, but he talks like he does on the show. He's just kind of, he seems vacant, but he's not. And he's like, he looks around, he goes, we should take a picture together. I'm like, okay, cool.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm there in like a work dress shirt standing next to, him. It's really funny.
That's cool. That is really cool.
It's I always wonder that because there's people that you kind of idolize when I was back in NASCAR or I was back into NASCAR and you meet some of those guys and some of them are really cool and some of them you're like, wow, you're totally a jerk. It's like they're kind of pompous. Yeah. I always wonder what that's going to be like, because I know a lot of people hold, celebrities in that super high regard. I've never been that person.
Right. We're all people, man. We're all just people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd love to meet and hang out with that guy again. I idolize him. Yeah. He's a badass. Very talented person.
Because he went into what? He's now in the gun industry, isn't he? Or was?
Everything. Guns, knives, still bikes.
That's
everything.
Crazy.
That dude does everything. So.
It's nice to see too that he still is doing it, because sometimes these guys get into those shows and that's sort of the end of them.
Right.
Because I mean, I was surprised honestly that the Tuttles came back, because that whole chopper scene's kind of dead.
Right.
Or at least I think it's dead. And then to see
that style chopper, it is definitely dying out or has died out. You know what's really making a comeback is the choppers, like old school chopper daddy stuff.
The hard stuff, yeah.
Yeah, it's getting big again. There's a kid, first shout out, Marion Metalworks. He's right here in Dallas, Oregon. I met him, really weird, but he just got picked up. He's making badass parts. He's selling lowbrow customs picked him up, Chop Colt, a couple of other companies, and the kid is just building amazing choppers.
Yeah.
Badass.
That's really cool.
Mm-hmm. They got
It's
their whole
all,
little scene.
yeah. And it's always cool too, when you can find somebody that's into the scene, that's local and actually is doing really good work. I didn't realize till somebody told me there's a a guy down the street here that has a great shop. Never would have known it was a motorcycle shop.
Right.
And somebody told me about it, and I opened up the door of the shop. I was like, "Is the door even going to open?" And there's like all this stuff in
Right.
there. I was like, "You could advertise or something." It's really
Right.
bad. I'm
And
taking
that,
my bike to the dealer, and you're right down the street.
yep.
It's
Yep.
I'm a big fan of too, of giving your money to a local person than your dealer.
Right. And that's kind of what I'm working on here. I don't know if it'll ever be a full blown turning over, business, but that's what I want to do for my retirement job. I want to do that. Just, the tire machine that selling the Dyna. That's I told myself, I'm going to sell this bike. I am going to buy a tire machine because one, it'll pay for itself doing people's tires, but all the buddies can, and hopefully maybe become a tire dealer or something, but drop ship your tire here, ride down, we'll hang out, we'll change your tire. It's just, to me, that pays for itself. Just the camaraderie in the company and people coming in. Dude, when I was on the couch here, sorry, I'm bouncing all over the place.
That's fine.
When I was living on the couch in the shop, there was somebody or someone or a couple or a family here every day, with meals, hugs, gifts. It was absolutely amazing.
I mean, and
Such a
that
great
shows right
community.
there what kind of impact you had in the community. I mean, that's amazing.
It just, I don't know. I wouldn't have made it without all those people. Every single one of them. It'd take me forever to name them all, but thank you. Any of you are watching.
I've always said there's two types of people in your life. There's the people that give you what all people give you, as well, if you need anything, you call me. And then there's the people that show up and are like, what do you need? And you can't discount because everyone is different, but I think showing up is everything.
Absolutely,
you could show up
100%.
with nothing to offer, and I think that's of more value.
Yep.
It's
show up with a kind word and a hug is worth,
because showing up's hard some days. It's
damn right
showing
it
up
is.
takes
Damn
commitment.
Right. Damn right it is.
That is awesome that you've had that impact.
Well, I appreciate that.
I think it's interesting
never was
too
my
that
intention, but it just happened.
Well, but I think that's more genuine, right? Everybody, you can have a plan, and we all need a plan, but when you do it and it becomes something because it became something, I think that's really cool too.
Yeah, it is. It's cool. It's I always had the vision of, not the vision, but Crash Inc., this motocross motorcycle thing, bad boy, tattoos, whatever. I never envisioned it being hug dealer PMA kind of, never. And I'm thankful that it became that, but I never, ever, I never thought I'd be printing shirts that I hope your kid could wear to school, and you could also wear it riding your Harley down the road. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I try to have the
think
little tiny bit of bad boy image, but
well, and I think it's cool too because both of those shirts start a conversation.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because I think it was Denver that texted me something about PMA, and I was like, "What?" And then he had to explain it to me, and I was like, "Oh, all right, that's really cool." And now you don't forget it, but I think there's a lot to be said for that, and that's great. I mean, I think it's awesome that people can have that kind of impact in the community. That's awesome.
Remind myself every day. Mm-hmm.
That is
cool.
badass. And it's I think it's really important. I mean, there's so much negativity in the world, and
Oh, yep. You know what really helped too is quit listening to the news.
You don't say.
Oh God, that was huge for me.
I
get so mad.
Well, and that's the tough part too. You look over the last 2 years and you look at how many people, the suicide rate and mental illness and everything else has gone up. And it's like, well, when you turn on the news and you're basically just told you're going to die for 2 years, I mean, gee, what kind of effect did you expect that to have on people?
Exactly.
And I mean, I'm laughing, but it's not funny. It's not.
No, I got you. but it's all in perception. You know,
Yeah.
it is funny in a way because it's I guess in a sick weird way, but whatever.
I mean, sometimes you just got to laugh, right? Because
Yeah, you have to.
sometimes
You
you
have
got to
to
get through the
just
day.
sit back and laugh at things that are going on because it's just like, oh my god, wow.
Yeah. Well, as we
So,
start to wrap up, because we've hit about
mhm.
that hour point, what would you like to plug? What would you like to leave? I mean, what are your parting thoughts? What would you like to
What
leave
are
folks with?
my parting thoughts? Support small business.
Hell yes.
Support small business.
So, and
I
then
mean,
if you do order a crash shirt, you need to post it on Instagram. You need to tag them,
yeah,
and you
please.
need to get the word out there. That would mean the world to me.
Yeah, get the word out there. Spread the positive love, man. Give hugs. And support those who support you, right? I mean, dude, I could start down the list. All the and we were talking earlier about the companies that are starting to sprout out up here and then been around and whatever, and it's just like Denver, V Twin Life Podcast, you, uh, Ride Faster Pussy, Jason, PDX Dyna Crew, Adam, Levi, Sporty Mob, Clay, Rain City Moto Culture, Classic Cars, where we have our bike nights, Timbertown Harley-Davidson, Paradise Harley-Davidson. God, the list goes on and on and on. Then I could get into single names and take me friggin' forever.
Yep.
Legion Moto Co. I mean, all those guys, all that, just every single one of those guys is positive, and you show up and you see them, and they got a smile and a hug for you. It's insane. Paradise Harley, you walk in there, dude, and every single person is smiling, and every single person gives you a hug when you walk through the door. It's awesome. I love this community.
I think that's from being a creator with YouTube. A lot. That's somebody asked that real quick before I circle back. Droop asked, you don't have a YouTube channel, do you? Just Instagram?
I don't, just Instagram.
Okay, I just
got a
posted your
TikTok
Instagram
recently.
TikTok
recently.
I just posted your Instagram in the side chat for everybody.
Thank you.
So
thank you.
And that's kind of one of the things that I've tried to stay with. I know a lot of people will push things like on YouTube, because let's face it, right? You want to engage content, but I've always been a firm believer of like dying on the hill. If I go with the company and I believe in it, I'm dying on the hill. Right. I'm not going to be the guy that's like, oh, and today I'm wearing XYZ's helmet, and then tomorrow I'm wearing somebody else's. Like I think it's important that you support the companies that support you.
Absolutely.
Because it goes such a long way.
Yeah. It does. It really does. It's like, I mean, I became friends with Roji at Black Fly Sunglasses, and I'm part of the Fly family now. And it's like, I'll never wear another brand of sunglasses for the rest of my life. They treat me as a person and my family and my friends so well, just because we met and we're all part of the same community kind of thing. And it's like, I won't ever wear another pair of sunglasses.
That's
you
awesome.
Couldn't pay me enough just because of, how much of a family it's become. So it's that kind of stuff.
I mean, and that's how it has to be, especially when you get these companies that they're either run or I don't know. I mean, everybody runs into this. I'm going to get on a soapbox, but you talk to somebody in a company and you can tell they don't ride. And you're like, well, if I've talked to 3 or 4 people in your company, or worse, as a salesperson, they don't ride because they can't ask you a question. I'm like, well, why am I buying a bike from you? Like, there's no shortage of Harley dealers. It's really not.
Customer service is huge.
It's everything.
Huge. In anywhere, but this community is so tight. It goes around so fast. If you had a bad experience with someone or somebody was rude to you, and they're like, nope, not going with them. Not going with them. I forgot to plug these guys because I'm going to be a dealer, or I am a dealer now. It hasn't gone on the website yet. Lexan Moto.
Oh, very nice. I've heard very positive things about them.
Yeah, I got to finish my stuff, but those we are an official dealer now. I haven't really announced that, but I guess I just did. But
okay,
soon you'll be able to get Lexan right off the Crash Inc. website.
Awesome. So that's a great opportunity for you.
Best headsets around. Prove me wrong.
Awesome. that is fantastic. I think that's what I won't call anybody out. I was going to say, I think somebody runs them, but then I had to think, wait, maybe they don't. I don't want to throw anybody on a bus or positive.
No, I got you. I got you.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
So we can follow you on Instagram. Where else can
Mhm.
we follow you on TikTok?
TikTok,
Check out the
Instagram,
site.
Facebook, Brad Columbus on Facebook. My
Excellent.
wife thinks I'm crazy. I approve any friend request.
I've been getting all these people I approve, and then they want to sell me some political agenda. I'm
Well,
like, they're all bots.
and then I just
Yeah, I
you can
delete
just,
'em.
like, delete them. Yeah, but I just accept. Oops. Oh well, what did I do? If you wanna, I guess I'll plug myself. If you wanna check out my my other Instagram page, I have 3. It's called BC Signs. I do hand carved signs. A
I had
lot
no
of
idea you did that. That's awesome.
That's a whole nother. It'd take us another hour to go through that. But if you want to check it out, it's It's at BCS BC Signs.
Okay.
Yeah, and I do like barnwood. I don't know if you saw that American flag that was in the background on the wood and stuff when I was walking around showing you stuff like that. I've built beds. My good friend Victor down in Northern California, Moglide 07 on Instagram. We built him a bed, and a couple of years ago, my wife and I loaded up and we rented a U-Haul trailer and drove it down and set it up for him. It was pretty cool. So
That's awesome. I don't know if you saw Ride Faster Pussy just popped on.
Oh, hey Jason, what up, dude?
That's awesome. Yes, Drip, it was Wit. I wasn't sure. I thought it was Wit, but I couldn't remember if it was Wit that wore that. Wit Mesa wears their headset, and she used it in her 48 state run when she took the Pan American out. I think she did 48 states in 10 days, 9 days.
Damn.
They didn't give her the bike. So Harley, I know you're not listening, but you suck. You should have gave her the bike. That's all.
You should have gave her the bike. Yep.
Yeah, you should have gave her the bike. I mean, if you do something like that, give her the bike. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely. I want to ride one of those really bad.
Yeah, it's a pretty impressive bike for sure. I haven't ridden one, but just looking at it, it's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I really appreciate your time. And if you want to hang out after the show for a few minutes, it'd be great just to catch up. But thank you all for joining us. And please check out Brad's stuff with Crash Inc. He makes great gear. I have one of his t-shirts. I love it. Also, as a reminder, even though my co-host isn't here, we'll support him nonetheless. He's going to have Mrs. Monkey, Professional Monkey's wife, on his live stream /podcast Sunday at 8:00. So make sure you join that. It's going to be an amazing time. Maybe we can get her to beat Monkey up live on stream or something. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Awesome. But
that would be
guys,
awesome. We miss you,
as always, thank you so much for joining. Try and keep in mind that positive mental attitude. Love you guys to death. Thank you so much for joining. And we will see you next week. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys.